1.
Hello and welcome to Bras, Bitches and Balls. My name's Nick Rowley and I'm co-hosting this. Today we have Dika, Lisa, and we have our special guest, Karen Dybus, who will be talking about her new book, The Witch of Del Rey. And here's Lee.
Hello. So I'm playing with my screen, which I can't stand it when everybody does it because I'm trying to make sure that I have the Facebook page up and running. If anybody wants to talk to us live, they certainly can. But welcome to Bras, Bitches, and Balls. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. We have some regular guests now coming on. So Lisa has been with us. This is her third or fourth one now. Lisa Burden.
Yeah. I don't know which. I think third.
I think this is third.
I think it's third.
Yeah. And then Dika, this is your second one coming on.
Yeah.
So thank you again for showing up.
It is. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a race at this point between Lisa and Dika to see who gets the coveted five show crown or
Tom
something.
Hanks, as it
Yeah,
were.
basically. Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all are funny. So we want to start off with the bra of the week because Busted Bra Shop is the sponsor, and I own that. So yeah, self-serving, right? So give me a second. I'm going to pull something up. I did not bring Betty. I did not bring the mannequin this week.
I'm so sad.
I would say that it was because of something clever, but it was because I was exhausted last night and forgot to put her in the car. But I have a bra at home that I've never worn because it's my I love you so much I don't want to see you start wearing out bra. It is beautiful. It is a bra I hold so dear that when it needs to be one huge event for me to be able to wear it. Okay, so give me a second.
So are you wearing it Friday night?
Oh God, I left it. Oh, no, it's not here about my foot. Am I wearing it Friday night?
Oh, don't scare me.
I don't know if I can. She's by Marley Steckers. Marley Steckers is my haute couture line, and I wear it as an everyday bra. But this one is not an everyday bra. This one is pleather. This is bringing out my old punky kind of rock and roll roots. Okay, do you see this, baby?
My God,
I'm
look at
coveting
that.
this.
Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so it's
Can
got
you
the
hold up a little
pleather
higher?
look. It's got the pleather look. And it's got the stitching in there. The details really fine. It's got the binding around the upper cup. Look at the hardware on this thing.
I'm feeling like Tim Curry would really love wearing that bra.
Why
I
don't I
do
have?
too.
I need that right now.
And we can
Look at
order
the
these.
inside.
This is like a $250 bra.
It does not matter.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like those shoes that you're like, I paid $700 for it, which I've never done.
Yes, and
I
they
like-
never touch the floor.
Yeah.
No,
I have a
'cause you don't wanna
boob
wear it at the
thing,
bottom.
not a foot thing. So then it's got the suspender look in the back.
We
What
all
did
have
you
a
say?
boob thing.
I've got the suspenders in the back with the hardware. Am I doing this, Jess? Can you see it?
Oh, my God.
But look at the inside of the cup. I know. Do you see why I'm holding
That
this
is like
puppy?
the shoes.
Yeah.
It's so
They're
so
red
gorgeous.
boobies, not red bottoms.
Yeah, except your nipples
is.
won't wear them out. So
And
Well,
it's
you
got
hope.
this wonderful gore
I mean,
right
it
in the
depends on
middle.
how abrasive your nipples are. I suppose.
But you can see I love her.
Your love is justified.
Sometimes I put her on in my bedroom and I stand in front of the mirror and I'm just like, I love you.
Yes, she needs that sort of love and affection.
are there
My
similar
precious.
panties?
Yes, there are similar panties. The panties will blow your freaking mind.
Oh my God.
I know. Okay, I'm going to put her away. But that's
So it's like you just put them on and dance around your room, and then you take it off. And you
just
hang it up.
understand that I do have this thing, and it's just this bra thing. Would you like to touch it?
I
I
actually
would love to. Please. Oh my God.
it's like nicer than anything I own.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so
It's
beautiful.
Marley
She wanted to
Steckers.
come to you.
So there's a thing about the Marley Steckers line. If somebody sees something they want and it's made in the size and the cup that they want, I can order it. You have to pay me first.
Oh my God.
And it'll
you'll
take
keep
them a
it
while to
otherwise.
manufacture it. Right. But it is a wonderful product. So what else did I bring today? I brought a couple things today for accessories. There is more. Because I want people to know that there's fun things that they can do during this dress-up season. We're getting... People think that bridal season is like summer. We get more brides coming in at this time of year than I do like in June and July. And they need very specific things. Brides just do. And so also when people are going to formal events, they need very specific things. So this is one of the things. Petal tops, because here in America, we're completely afraid of our nipples. This is something that's throwaway that you can put on. We have them in star shapes, and then we also have them in this petal shape. And I'm going to open it. I think I'm going to open it. Nick, will you open that?
I will.
Because I can't see. And then the other thing that we have in the store
I'll
is
open
just a little bit of fashion tape. And that can help with so many different things when you're dressing up formal and at the very last minute something goes wrong. It's double-sided. It's made for your skin and the material.
So if you have a dress that's maybe doing this, you can.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you keep it in your purse, one of your girlfriends is going to be like, oh, no, in the back. It's doing something weird. Can you help me? And just stick it on them. It's fine.
Back fat. Oh, yes. Keep my back fat
That's
secure.
not really a thing. We're
I was
not
going to
even
say
gonna-
that's what I would want to use it
Yeah.
for.
So this is the petals. This is a disposable thing. Now, I also have something at the store called dimmers, and they're made out of silicone, and the dimmers will dim your headlights. It's a thicker piece in the middle with the silicone, and then it petals out to rose petal thin on the ends, and it comes in chocolate and vanilla, so that you wash them and use them over and over again. But this is something if you need it to real quick, and blah. There you go. All right, so that's kind of fun, and
Those need to be in vending machines.
Ding.
Have little sewing sets.
That and slippers that you can wear when your
heels
heels and you're like, screw this, I'm putting some isotoners on and
If
throwing these
women
in
ran
my
the
purse.
world like we
Exactly.
should be, those would be in every major
Yeah.
event center.
That-
Like Kobo.
Wow.
Right. Some emery boards, like
I
all that
completely
kind of
agree.
stuff.
So we had an event not too long ago in the bra shop. It was a fit event by Panache, and the theme was to find your fit. And I would like to encourage everyone to, if it's not with our bra shop, go to a professional bra boutique, find your fit in certain companies, and then it will translate to other companies. And
Does
you'll
she
be
have a
able
name?
to do it? Yes, mine.
Keep your damn hands off.
I just want the listeners to know about that bra. Like, even the stitching.
The stitching is amazing.
even the strap.
The
It's a
straps.
textured strap. It's not just
And it
a
has that.
strap.
No.
You should buy an outfit around that bra.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, they also make teddies that are bras, and I have one very similar to that construction that is pinstriped, and I am toying with wearing that with a formal skirt to my event Friday night. Do it. I really, really might. It's a boxing event, so what's
It's perfect.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
it's tough yet pretty.
it shows a lot of skin up here, so yeah, we'll have to
Adjust.
check with that.
Yeah.
And all my tattoos are going to show, and that's fine.
That's okay.
Boxers will like
I
that.
was gonna
Boxers
say,
will
you've
like
been
it.
so
The sailor
popular.
tats
Do like
will look
pin
great.
curls and then walk around with one of those little match, cigarette things.
Well,
Cigars.
if you want me to do pin curls, I have to work up to the minute that the event starts. So I'm going to be getting ready at work. If you'd like to come and help me do that, could you
I don't know if I'm
use
the
it?
right person for that, but I am so not a fashion girly person at all.
We'll see what happens. All right, so that was the bra of the week. Yay!
Yay, bra of the
Hooray.
week.
I love it. So we want to remind everybody what our friends here in the studio do. Lisa?
I do commercial real estate, nonprofit, and business transactions law. And if you have any questions about that, I just go by Lawyer Lisa.
Lawyer Lisa, because
Just call me Lawyer Lisa.
I just sent her another lease for another potential store to open up,
which means more bras.
which means more bras and easier access, which is always the best thing when it comes to bras. Pun intended. And so there you go. She's helping me with that lease, and that's phenomenal. And then you helped a couple other business people that I know with leases. Lisa and leases.
Lisa and Lisa's.
Lisa does leases.
Lisa with Lisa's. Yeah.
That's a tongue twister. Yeah, stop it. Okay.
Okay.
Dika.
I am a musician, a festival
badass.
organizer. Yeah, general badass, rock star, I guess, according to some people. And I also curate entertainment for events. So multifaceted, as most artists in Detroit are. You can find me at Deekah.com, DEEKAH.
Can we make an announcement about what we agreed to do on November 2nd?
Yes, let's do it.
So Rotary is having adult prom at Tangent Gallery. Tickets are only $50 a couple, and it's going towards a fundraiser for Freedom House.
Yes.
If you don't know what Freedom House is, look it up. And it's awesome. And Deke is going to be performing there.
I sure the hell am. Yes, I'm very excited.
I am too.
Very
I'm
excited.
super excited.
I love Tangent Gallery. We just had the Cosmic Slop Music Festival there, which is our multicultural celebration of rock music. And we kicked ass all day long at Tangent Gallery. And Joe and the team over there are amazing. If you're looking for a place to throw events, I have to throw a shameless plug in there to Tangent, because we got to support great venues like that in the city. And so, yes, Tangent Gallery, love, love, love.
It's a wonderful space. A lot of there's a lot to be done there. I mean, the opportunity in that space is amazing to have a really damn good time. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question about the prom that we haven't talked about, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will there be gossamer?
We can allow what?
Any gossamer? Will there be, the gossamer curtains?
I don't know.
I don't know. We can look into that though.
We
That's,
can-
that's a fun.
Do you want gossamer?
That's what I think
That's a-
about when I think
that's a
about
fun
prom
thing to
for
look
some
into.
reason.
Okay.
I think of taffeta.
Taffeta, a lot of
Ooh.
taffeta.
A lot of taffeta, and then that takes me to Young Frankenstein, and I go, taffeta, darling, taffeta.
Oh, my gosh.
The rain. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I'll make a note. We'll do some sourcing on some gossamer then. Okay, so we'll see what we can find there.
Gossamer. All right, Karen, your
I
turn.
am a Metro Detroit, I guess, journalist, freelance writer, author, and specializing in local history these days. So that is my forte. That's what I'm passionate about. So been writing a lot of these local history books.
And the one that always comes to mind is the Better Made potato chips.
Yes, I always call it the potato chip book so that I can give love to all the many potato chip companies that used to be in Detroit, like New Era and Crunchy. And we had a brilliant amount of retailers and real estate and every aspect of Detroit you could find a potato chip company at.
And Better Made is the last small potato chip boutique type manufacturer in the country, right?
There's like a handful. There's Mike Sells out of Ohio and Utz potato chips out of Pennsylvania. And Jay's used to be, but they got purchased by someone else. So yeah, we really is unusual and rare to have your potato chips made in your backyard. They're so crisp and delightful. I highly recommend going to the Gratiot Avenue store and checking that out.
Yeah, I love that store. It's just a fantastic thing
go
to see
there.
driving along.
I just saw Better Made chocolate covered potato chips.
Yes. They used to be just a seasonal thing. Now they're doing it year
They do it-
round because they realize
Because
that
they want
we
us all
all
to get
need
fat.
that. Yeah, they do. They want us to get fat. I gained like 10
what they
pounds
want.
writing the book.
Oh
I
my God.
guarantee.
Like just add sweet and salty.
Yes.
Like
yes.
that's
Why?
I'm in.
Yeah. Chocolate and crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that
Yeah,
would do it.
one of their accountants started doing that as a holiday gift, and Better Made's like, that is a good idea. And then they ran with it, thank goodness.
Wow.
Thank you, Better Made.
Thank you,
you,
Better
Better
Made. We love them. And yeah, your book is it's so easy to spot because it's yellow.
Yes, that's what I loved, is that's the actual potato chip bag. They actually emailed it to me. Like, here you go. And I thought for just a second when it came in the email, I could make my own potato chip brand. I could use this. And then I remembered they're Sicilian and immediately discarded that idea.
Right, yeah, best not to.
No, they've been
Best
very
not.
generous at that point, and after that, it would be all games. So, yeah, it's the actual bag cover.
Awesome.
Maybe we should get some Better Made potato chips for the prom.
Definitely.
That seems like a
Yes.
good idea.
They have a
Yeah.
Halloween special right now. It's a good deal.
Ooh.
That's true.
That's
true.
a great idea. And then maybe we can go get the chocolate potato chips for when we need to drown our sorrows because our boyfriend left us for another girl at the prom.
At the
And we're back at
prom.
prom. Yes,
Prom.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
very
what are you
much
looking
a
at me for?
prom.
Teenage
I
days.
won't be a
You
prom.
Oh, that's
remember
right.
that, Lisa.
Punk.
You remember that prom experience.
She's gonna be out of
being dumped
town.
on-
I'm going to be
okay.
in Austin,
Aw.
Texas.
Oh, what are you
It'll
doing?
be all hot and everything.
I have a partner down there in a doggy daycare company, so I am going down to meet with her and check. It's the second anniversary of the building opening, and
Oh,
she's
that's great.
expanded multiple times and now has a doggy pool.
And you have a pig there
And
too, right?
we have a farm sanctuary, apparently. So a pig, and more importantly for me, because I love goats, there's a goat.
Oh my
And
god.
she just got back from Peru, where she went to help some stray dogs there. They have a street dog problem in Peru.
They do?
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a woman there who has 67 street dogs that she's taking care of, and they're in dire need of medical assistance and eventually a facility. And she also went and visited an orphanage where the kids wanted to take their chicken to their rooms because they don't get to eat meat very often. So
And that's not a live chicken. That's
no,
actually
no,
a
like
chicken
cooked
Yeah.
chicken.
We were talking,
but we
live.
are donating some money to them so that they can bring some chickens in to raise for eggs and
Yes.
Beautiful.
food. But yeah, so she's got a big heart, and I'm very excited to be involved in that.
That's
so
awesome.
so business stuff.
But awesome business stuff. It sounds like.
Well, I'd like to get pictures of the goat and the pig so that we can put it up and show some people what's happening down there in
No
Texas with our friend Lisa.
Yeah, she also helped with the Houston. She brought some animals from Houston to keep for a while they were cleaning out from the flood.
Nice. She's a nice lady.
She's great.
She's bought bras from me.
She has.
Yes.
She loves
great.
She's
busted.
come up to us and we have customers from all around the country. It gets crazy in there. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like boobs from Washington State come in and from New York and
There
Colorado.
should be like a wall of fame.
Yeah.
If they'd allow for that.
Just a wall of bras.
Just a
with
wall. Yeah, boobs.
Yeah.
Well, and we
Wall
have
of
some
boobs.
wonderful customers who are businessmen during the day and dress as ladies during the night, and they come up. I have a couple who come up from Colorado twice a year for their fittings. Yeah, we have people from all over the place.
awesome.
We have some great stories, but I have great happy stories. It's usually very uplifting stories. But
Uplifting. Pun
Uplifting,
intended.
yeah.
pun
Indeed.
intended.
I'm enjoying this.
But you have a story, and we've actually put the picture out on the Bras, Bitches, and Balls Facebook page right now just to get us started, that is spooky as shit. And it's based on true events.
Absolutely.
And so true crime is something that Lisa and I really get into. Dika, do you get into true crime at all?
I do.
Okay, you have to. You like
Yeah.
heavy metal music.
Yeah.
You like something intense. You know,
Yeah,
people
I
can be
do.
assholes, and sometimes we like to dive deep into those psyches.
Yeah.
So Lisa and I listened to a podcast called My Favorite Murder.
Stay sexy, don't get murdered.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah,
That's good life advice.
It
Is
really
that
is.
advice?
Pretty much.
It really
They
is.
have some great life advice. Also, stay out of the woods.
Yes.
Nothing
Especially
good
by
happens
yourself.
there. Though I'm from the woods, so I don't really follow that one.
So so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Lisa on, because you took your true crime and really investigated it, and I'm not going to say anything else because I think it's your turn.
Well, that's what made this such a brilliant project, was what inspired it. A friend went on one of the cemetery tours that's all around town. And I defy you to find a history or spooky Halloween tour that doesn't include Rose Veras. So he heard about it and said, they claim that she's a female serial killer. How can there be a serial killer in Detroit that no one knows about? So I quickly did the online research, and that's what you find is a few people have written posts about her on their blogs.
What's her name again?
Rose Veras
Rose Vera.
and her son Bill.
Yes.
He
they
was
just
also
look
included.
spooky.
Well, she was in her 50s when she was accused, and this was a hard life. I mean, again, 1931 Detroit. People are in dire straits because not only is it the Great Depression, but it's Prohibition, so things are rough.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
I mean,
manufacturing town.
And plus, it's the 30s where a lot of women who were like 19 looked 35.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And she's a widow at this point as well. She's been running her own boarding house, getting up at 4 a.m., feeding these men before they go to work. And then she's raising 3 sons at the same time. So a lot of people will try to mess with me and point out that she looks so haggard and like, don't you go there.
No.
Because for the grace of God, she's keeping it together. She's one of the strongest women. And if she was a witch, if a witch existed, I would have encouraged her to use her powers to survive because this was not easy at all. So started looking into it and got lucky and hit the jackpot of being able to track down her legal documents. Luckily, the Archives of Michigan held on to Detroit Recorder's Court files because anything else on this case is all newspaper and conjecture. So I was able to read through her legal case as much as was there because when she got a second trial in 1945, she had an incredible female attorney who kicked ass, went through all of the documents
Absolutely.
from her initial trial and was able to kind of remedy or, become victorious on behalf of this family that may have been wrongfully accused, but again, I leave that up to the reader to make that decision. Was she really a witch? Was she really guilty? I think we have some good evidence both ways, depending on how you look at it.
So, from what I understand, people started dying in her boarding house.
Yeah, again, 1931 is when she was accused. A gentleman was trying to repair a window on the second floor or second part of the little bungalow they lived in. And depending on who you believe, he was either pushed out of the window, beaten and dragged and thrown out of the window, or that he fell. And no one was responsible for it other than his clumsy self. So there's 3 different kind of storylines that are being portrayed. And the one that the prosecution goes with is that they beat this boarder in his basement bedroom, dragged him upstairs, took him up into the attic, and then threw him from the attic to the ground below. And that's where he sustained the injuries he dies of. So whether Rose did that is then the contention. And because it's 1931 and we need to be sexist, she clearly couldn't have done it by herself. So her 18-year-old son had to be involved. So he was included in the murder trial that occurred.
So motive is not an element that needs to be required, but I assume that the thought of the motive here is money.
Yes, they claimed and they found some insurance policies when they searched her house, and that she was keeping track of the boarders that lived in her house kept life insurance usually because they were here either as single men or men from Hungary in many instances that came over to make a few dollars to send home to their families. So they would have these life insurance policies as burial policies. If I die in the United States, make sure I'm buried with some dignity.
Right.
And they're usually in their 40s to 60s. So this is, again, 1931. This is when they're going to die. They're not going to live to their 80s and 90s, especially working in some of these factories.
Sure.
And so she kept track of did they have money and then spent it when they did pass away. So they died of anything you can imagine, from heart attacks, a few suicides, and those were always rumored to be Rose's doing.
Was she the beneficiary of the policies
In
then?
some instances, she would be as the landlady. And since they didn't have any family here.
Right, so
Right,
they were
so
just
she
like,
would be the point
you be the
person.
one to make sure I get
Yes.
buried.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yes.
quite like an H.H. Holmes where he like
Right.
coerced people into making him the beneficiary.
Yes. And in the
Yeah,
case
he
of her
was
husband even.
Freaky.
Absolutely one of the freakiest. I
And
have
you know,
nightmares
he went-
about his murder
He went to
case.
the University of Michigan. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
There's all sorts of, my friend Mickey Lyons has great blogs on this that she can kind of trace where he's been in Detroit. Because
Holmes?
he came
Yeah,
through
he came
here
through
with
Detroit.
those kids.
Yeah, with the
Plus
kids that ended
University
up
of
in
Michigan, where he
Canada,
attended.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. The
Oh,
one
yeah.
that
He was in
Michigan
he
for a
got Look at me.
while.
I'm like all
Yeah.
upset.
Oh,
My clothes together.
I blame
and stuff.
Eric
Holy
Larson
crap.
for making us so scared of this guy too, because his descriptions in the book Devil in the White City of the way he killed these poor women, it's outstanding. He's my goal. He's my life mentor.
That is a great book.
Yes.
I was not so interested in the chapters on the World's Fair, but
See, the World's Fair is
knows
what I
that,
mainly
too.
know. Okay, let's get back
Yes.
to this witch. Sorry.
Anyway,
We
so
digress.
so when her husband died in 27 with a friend of carbon monoxide poisoning was what the coroner found, but neighbors began to talk that perhaps she shut the garage door on him while he was out there repairing his car, and that's how they succumb. And then when she's burying these guys and she's getting these life insurance policies, monies, they are upset with her because in part it's starting to be the Great Depression in Detroit. It kind of kicks in later, but Detroit always feels things first because our economy
We're the
is so
canary,
narrowly
yeah.
based. And they were noticing. Not only did they already dislike her and give her the term the witch, that she was the witch of that neighborhood, kind of the spooky character, but now she's coming into money at a time when everybody's tight and are reaching out for any kind of assistance they can. There's no Social Security. There's no welfare. There's nothing very
There's no
helpful.
safety net.
Yeah.
No safety net for these people. So her seeming windfalls are what gains the attention of the neighbors. And in my interpretation of the story, I think they're jealousy.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate hard on her
Yeah.
too. And so when this particular crime happens in 1931, this boarder is said to be pushed out of the window to his death. They got her. They kind of gang up on her. They make sure the police are investigating it. It's like the third time they've been out there for a death. Mm-hmm. So they take it seriously.
Yeah.
And this is how she's held for murder.
And she actually got convicted of murder.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It
How
took
long
a
did she
couple months.
serve?
She was in jail for prison for 14 years before she had a second trial.
That's
And
not
her
a
son
time I
was
want to be in
13
prison
years.
either.
It's not a good
No,
time in
it's-
prisons in Detroit.
It's a pretty
either.
bad time for incarceration. So.
She is certainly in a female prison, but at the same time, her son is at Jackson. Is not an easy
Yikes.
place to serve time.
Did
he's
he
18.
serve
I
at
mean,
the same
now,
time?
let alone the 30s.
He was in jail for 13 years before his second trial as well.
And then in the second trial, were they? I didn't get this far. Were they exonerated at that point?
Yes. Her son is tried first, and he is almost where when he walks in the courtroom, the judge is like, "Our bad," and dismisses it. He has a nolle posquale, if I'm saying it correctly. It's basically the prosecutor says,
We're all looking at Lisa. You're
this
the
is
lawyer.
a term
I don't
from
do
back in the
criminal law.
day.
Come on,
but
lawyer girl. Tell
the-
us what this
I don't know.
They
I
all look into it. The prosecutor at the time, the police that prosecuted the case or, found the evidence in the case, and they're like, oops, we're sorry. You can go now. And they release him without even completing the trial.
Wow.
It's that.
Yeah, that's not something that happens a lot.
No,
No.
they are shocked in a lot of ways, even in 1931, that his case gets as far as it does. And then because of her infamy, because Rose is the witch of Del Rey, they do hold a complete second trial for her. They do not make it easy. They definitely want to keep her in prison because they believe she's genuinely a murderer. Or maybe even a serial killer if you, again, believe that she was the person that led to the deaths of these 10-plus men that lived in her household.
That is a lot, but if you look at the time period and
Yeah.
how hard it was just for surviving, I can. Looking back on it, we can say, that doesn't seem quite so freaky.
If you are
It
And the
says,
suicide
it says a lot
Chelsea.
about circumstantial
Yes.
Yeah.
evidence
And
and,
again,
how that builds.
depends on your
Yeah.
point of view. If you
Yeah.
see that
I mean, it's not
she
arsenic
benefited-
poisoning like we were talking about
Right.
earlier.
It's not arsenic and old lace, which
Yeah.
was a boarding house as well for
Yeah.
senior citizens. That's a fascinating story too, in a way.
It's a great production.
Yes. But she did. She had access to dangerous things. She
Right.
had motive, in theory.
Yeah.
She could have done all these things, and we're all just being way too nice. So that's why I like that this story can be heard and interpreted so many different ways.
Yeah, I also like that it's very much like other witch trials in that it's just somebody in the neighborhood that people don't like. It's actually the individual who's accused is in some way vulnerable and to those accusations. And there's a lot of stress going on, which is usually what you also find in the earlier witch hunts is the society had some sort of collapse or was under really great stress. So it's really interesting that rather than changing her from being a witch who does magic things through Satan, which is what they used to be, they still have that little element, but then they add it to a more modern accusation, which is she's a habitual murderer. So it's a fascinating from that.
At the time that this is happening, too, Detroit is kind of under siege. It's the 75% of all the alcohol in the United States is provided out of Detroit.
That's right.
So the criminal justice system is deluged
Yes.
to the point where when they are trying some of the gangsters that are also around at the same time as the rum runners, the prosecutor at the time, a guy named Harry S. Toy, he actually faints at one point in court because he's just exhausted. He is trying to get these cases through as quickly as possible. So the two assistant prosecutors that actually follow up on the Rose's case are kind of sent in to go take care of this. Just get a conviction, get this going. So you have a very tough, overworked legal system.
Yeah, it sounds
and
like
some
the
incredible
legal
judges
system was
as
completely
well.
stressed out.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
and you have names that are like part of our everyday lives now. So you've got the Jeffries, Judge Jeffries is her prelim exam judge. So
Okay.
these names that are larger than life all play into this book and have a part in her, trial and conviction.
So where do we? Is the book available now?
It is coming out officially Monday, October 30th,
Okay.
right in time for Halloween.
Right
I
in
just
time
think the
for
timing
Halloween.
is amazing.
Yeah, we wanted to have this be around two things. Was I knew there were some other books coming out that were talking about Rose, where they are convinced she actually is a witch, that she did use witchcraft in both the court case, and she hexed people to get what she wanted. So I wanted to get my book out first, so at least people had something to balance that against.
That is a fascinating take on it.
And then again, this
Yeah,
Halloween, this is
exactly.
the time in Detroit when we are in love with all things scary and spooky. You know, theater bazaar and dressing up and haunted. So many
Yes.
haunted elements of the city. It's 300 plus years old. We have some scary shit.
Yeah,
So
Detroit is a
that
fairly
was fun.
spooky city at the best of times.
It
but
really
yeah.
is.
So-
It really is. And you know there's some ghosts running around. I mean, we got a governor buried in a park.
Yes.
We're a messed up city.
Yeah.
Hamtramck's got a guy buried in the middle of a park too, so it's not like it's just us.
That's true.
So if I want to go and get this, hold it up to the camera. There's a camera right over there, and there's a camera right over there. So the
Camera
Witch of
one.
Delray. Where do
Camera two.
we purchase said book on Monday?
Well, I'm always going to send you to local bookstores, so I
Right.
have to check in to
Is
make
Source
sure.
gonna
but
have it?
Source, I hope. BookBeat likely will.
Okay.
Pages likely will. So I hope
Is
that
Pure
they will.
Detroit going to carry it?
Pure Detroit has carried my books in the
That's where I've
past,
seen
so
some
I'm
of your
hoping
stuff.
that they will, because I know they're selling it as we speak. You know, still talking to booksellers.
Yeah.
It'll of course be at Barnes and Noble and the Amazons and all that. You can go to the History Press, the publisher. There's a lot of independent online booksellers as well, so I always got to encourage that. You can
Where
go
are
to one of
you
my
gonna
events
be?
and
Where's
see
your
me
next
talk.
event?
Yeah.
So I will be November 2nd, I believe it is, at the Caroline
Prom day.
Kennedy
Prom night.
Library.
Prom night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Um,
Don't go to both. You can just go to
well,
a future
what,
one,
what,
but
what
I'm
time
sure.
is that? They can
Yeah.
come to
There you
yours and
go.
then come to prom.
Yeah.
Come hear about the book and then go to the prom. So you got to go to Dearborn for the library there, the Caroline Kennedy.
Very Carrie-like there.
Yes.
So,
Yes, you could come all dressed up, which would be even more magnificent.
What time?
Show up in your prom
7
dress.
p.m. Yes, can you imagine? Like what
There's
look
a
at
long
the crowd.
line
yeah.
of people in prom dresses.
yeah,
That would be.
I get a
cool.
lot of
proms and
octogenarians,
witches.
so it'd
I
be
mean,
it'd
you
be
know, that
welcome.
work for Stephen King. So
people who knew Rose.
That's
So
the
where are
that's
you
the
gonna be on
strange part about
Halloween
the
Day?
story. I will be drinking heavily and celebrating that the book is out, but no events on Halloween Day. So to
If
speak.
you would like to have a venue, Busted is always very
thank
welcoming of
you.
all things
yes,
women.
you have always offered.
And we have that extra auxiliary room also that you could do something with. Just let me know.
Okay.
And I would love to put it out there that you're going to be
Yes.
there because I know I'm going to probably want some of those for Christmas gifts. And
I
not
was
that
gonna say,
my
bring a box of books because I will buy one.
yeah, not that my mom's listening because just the name of the
I was
podcast
gonna say,
is
I was like-
she's like, no,
She's
no,
like,
no.
Lee, really?
What did you
Is that what you had to
do?
name it?
Did I raise you that way?
But you did. You did.
This is what happens to the baby of the family.
Exactly. Yep, I used to be the black sheep of the family, but somebody else screwed up a lot harder than I did.
As I always
Who
joke,
raised
I
them?
am the black sheep in my family, and I'm like, what a boring family we have if I'm the
Yeah.
bad one.
Yeah, as soon as somebody else got incarcerated, I was like, I'm done.
I just did all the stupid stuff first.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
learned? Did you learn to get back up and figure it all out?
Yeah. I said I felt like I like to quote Jay-Z. I said I did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
That's the conversation I always have with my sisters. So
Well, I say that my dad set me up because my nickname when I was a kid was Sweetie Pumpkin. So, and I'm the only one that had one. So, of course, my siblings, every time he'd say Sweetie Pumpkin, you could see the hair raise up. Even though my brother doesn't have much hair left, you can still see him go, whenever he would be, where's my Sweetie Pumpkin? But they were a lot older than I am, so they can get that way. But I do say you set me up because now everybody thinks I'm going to have to be sweet, right? But the guy who lived behind us, we had these huge yards, and the guy who lived behind us, he would call me Dirt Road because we lived on a dirt road.
Oh, okay. I'm
And-
going to say
It
this
is
seems to be going
It is the
places.
South.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'm worried about this neighbor. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm scared for you.
Oh no, he was
How
he
you
was
doing,
actually
Dirt
turns out he
Road?
was a
How
serial
you
killer.
doing?
He had a
whatever
lot of life insurance policies on Lee.
Mhm.
whatever mom and his wife would go out shopping, they would actually leave me with Mr. Kite. And Mr. Kite had
He
a
was
pool.
called Mr. Kite?
Yeah, his name was Mr. That was his name.
Were things done for the
Okay,
benefit
That's
of...
not
was
the
a nice
first thing. I
man.
did not hear kite.
Oh,
at
no, it
first.
wasn't that.
I was like, are you
No,
kidding?
I didn't say the word
no,
kite. I didn't say that.
no.
But I used to say that when I spelled my name for people. I say K as in kite. And then I had a few people go, did you just say what I think you just said? I'm like, no,
No.
it's K.
Oh, nice and kite.
Oh, my
So
God.
Mr. Kite taught me how to dive into a swimming pool. And he always wanted to have little girls around because he was very nice.
He liked
Not because of that.
I love that we're making
Stop
this
it.
sinister.
Yeah.
Stop it. It's not sinister.
Please,
I know that
I'm waiting for this
sinister.
not to sound.
No.
just
No,
that
I
way.
have an
Okay.
ex-husband who loves little girls in that kind of way, not
Right.
in a
Yeah, okay, good.
pedophile
Right.
kind
He
of
had
way.
he had little boys. He's like, every once in a while, we got to balance out all this. All these little boys. Anyway, he taught me how to be tough and how to stick up for myself and how to dive into a pool. And he called me Dirt Road to give me a little bit of oomph, a little toughness.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, the nickname thing. But I have another cousin that I think got set up also with his first nickname because his name was Herbert. And the real name was Herbert.
Oh.
And his dad's name was Herbert also. So he could not say the word twinkle, twinkle, little star. He couldn't say that phrase. He would say squinkle, squinkle. And
So
so
his nickname was Squinkle.
his nickname was Squink. Squink. And he's, a man in his 70s. He's a Vietnam vet. He was in
went
the
all through
FBI.
Nam,
He
just called
was
He's
Squink.
like, my name is Squink, so I am
Squink.
going to have to do some badass shit.
Yeah.
So in the
It's like
military, they
heavily
started calling him
decorated.
Duke. He was the Duke. He
Duke
became
Squink.
Duke. And he also got his toughness, but I still call him Squink, and he still calls me Sweetie Pumpkin. Do you have any interesting nicknames in the family?
I'm
Dika?
Candy Mandy.
Oh my God! Why?
I'm Candy Mandy. Because my birth name is Candace.
Oh.
And
Beautiful.
so I'm Candy Mandy. But if anybody outside of my family ever calls me Candy Mandy,
Not doing it.
No.
they will not be a friend for long.
Although
You just told everybody.
I did. I did.
So
I
now
don't mind.
everybody's
you
gonna be
basically
like, "Hey,
told them
Candy
how
Man."
to
And I'll
get
be
their
like,
death from you.
Yes, that's the
right.
quickest way to
And
get
then
on my
we'll be
bad
doing
side.
true crime with you.
Behind bars.
The Candy
trade
Mandy
cards.
murders. It will be.
We have an interview from prison.
I'll just put your name on the visitor
Yeah.
list. I'll just.
Just a reminder,
I
I
told
don't
him
do
not to
criminal
say
law.
it. I told him not to say it.
I did.
Plausible deniability, right?
My sister's nickname is George,
Uh-huh.
and same thing. Like her name's Teresa, but we've never called her that. Like
Yeah.
I feel weird when I call her. I'm like, hey George, hey Teresa. I'm like, that was weird. She's like, yeah, it was. Don't do that again.
Stop it.
But like anybody outside of the family,
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, no, no, you're not.
Absolutely
family,
not.
do not do that.
I have to say thank you to Tyra Williams Thompson for joining us on Bras, Bitches, and Balls, and Akima Jones. And I have a feeling that you put some stuff out about Bras, Bitches, and Balls, Dika. And thank you very much for doing that. Share us if you can so that people can know some different things that are happening in Detroit. I know that sometimes these shows you never know what's going to come up next. You just never know. And that's part of the reason why we have that the entry music that says, dude, I didn't know, because maybe sometimes we don't know what's going to happen with this.
We never know what's going to
We
happen.
never know what's going to. It's kind of off. It's got to be a lot of fun, but I would love to hear anybody with show ideas. Please let us know. All right, Karen, do you have any nicknames?
Let's see. So, okay, when I was younger, in my family, I was Hutka, which I know is like vaguely probably Polish, but means absolutely nothing. I hope I didn't offend. And I was also Kus. Again, have no idea what that was.
Meanwhile, there's like a lot of old Polish ladies hearing this.
Oh,
and
I
going,
probably turning
oh
off
my
the radio.
God, no!
Can't believe she just said that out loud.
It's not as bad as Dupa, but it's got to be somewhere in between. I was also Kareem for a short time with a coworker because he had met a gas station attendant named Kareem, and it was close enough to my name that it just stuck. I
was
take
like,
any
what, did you play
nickname.
basketball?
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
I did
Kareem.
for half a second.
Like
I will
great
take any
yellow
nickname
shades
'cause
and stuff. Like,
I don't like my 70s name, so to speak, because there were Karens all over the world
Oh, hello,
at that
Lisa.
point. Right.
Are you named after Lisa Marie Presley? No.
Oh my God.
No.
My stepmom's
I wasn't
name
even
is
Karen
Lisa.
Carpenter. Like I had no reason to be named it other than my mom was probably just winging it at that point.
Oh, my parents
Probably.
just couldn't agree on a cool name, so they went to the baby name book and were like, "Oh,
There's one.
I came from a very small town up north, and there were 3 Lisas in my graduating class."
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and my brother and sister both have reasons behind their names, so yeah, I always was like, "I
Yes.
want a cool nickname."
I had no reason.
Yeah.
The other two, yes. Long, wonderful stories. You know, your brother's David after King David from the Bible, and you're Karen.
Yeah, you're just like, we couldn't figure anything out.
Karen.
Well, I was
Nice.
supposed to be Sarah Irene. And when my mother gave birth to me, I was the first one that she was awake for, because when my siblings were born in the 50s, they would knock the women out and just suck the kids out. It was very traumatic for the babies.
But
and
their
then-
hair was done and their makeup was done.
yeah,
so
the
they had
women
great
went in with their,
pictures
oh, I'm
afterward.
going into labor. Somebody do my nails. Yeah. So when I was born, she had to be awake for it. That's why there's no more children after me. So she goes to sleep. She's like, Sarah Irene. Okay, we've agreed on Sarah Irene. Fabulous. And my dad goes to the nurse who's typing up and says, Lee. What? She said Sarah Irene. He's like, I don't really care what she wants. Her name is Lee. It's Leee. When she applies for jobs, no one's going to know if she's a boy or a girl. And that was his mentality in 1969.
Wow.
That's part of the reason my daughter is Robin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was it. And Mom woke up and she's like, no, it can't be Lee. I don't like that. No. And he was like, too late. Sorry.
It's done. The deal's done.
So that was it. That was me.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That was
But-
smart thinking on his part.
Yeah.
That's still an issue now.
It is. Oh, he had a sister named John. Her
Whoa.
given name was John, John. We call her Dee Dee. And my dad's middle name was Jean, Jean, like a girl.
Yeah.
My grandmother thought she was being clever.
Grandma.
Ahead of her time.
She
So-
said yes.
So he just went ahead and was like, we're going to name her Lee. Forget about it. We're not having any more kids after that display of uncomfortable birthing.
Oh my God.
Lisa?
I-
George.
Yeah, my sister's
I always thought that was
George.
her actual name. Whenever
No.
I've met, hey, George, how you doing?
Yep. Nope. That's it really.
That's the big one.
Like I said, I never really had a nickname.
I like your dog's nicknames. Or names. They're actual names.
Oh, well, so I have 4 dogs, and that's way too many. By about,
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I want
Well-
more. I have 2.
Well, they're like constant toddlers who never
Yes.
grow up.
Pretty much,
So
yeah.
like there are days where, like last night I went grocery shopping and I was like, I'm craving red meat. So I got like this little sirloin steak. It was like, $3, not a big deal. But I'm running in and out, throw the bags on the floor, go back out to the car. And by the time I
Steak
get
was
back,
gone.
one Rottweiler is standing over an empty styrofoam package, and one beagle is in the corner hiding because he knows he's in trouble, scarfing down the meat. So I can't,
Okay,
'cause
so
he
the
knows
beagle
I'm gonna.
took the meat,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Rottweiler was like,
Well,
"Ooh,
I think
package."
Minnie. There were 2 little pieces, so I think Minnie may have
Minnie's
eaten
one
one
of
of
the
them, and then the
Rottweilers.
other Rottweiler. So we have Minnie, who used to be tiny, but now she's 95 pounds. She was
Okay.
45 when we got her, so her name is Minnie Mouse. And then we have another Rottweiler who's just over 2, and his name is Andex, for a monastery in Germany that makes some amazing beer, a Doppelbock Dunkel. So his full name when he's in trouble is
Say that 3 times.
Andex
fast.
Doppelbock Dunkel. So he has a full name, but he hardly gets in trouble because he's very sweet. And then the beagles, who are the big troublemakers, they're the ones who need middle names, are Jaeger, who is hunter in German, but he's afraid of his own shadow, so it's really an ironic name. And Ruger, for the gun, but it's spelled Rugrr, like "er." And he his nickname is Roo because he actually arroos when the other dogs won't play with him. And also his other nickname is Pootie, and I don't know why. Marshall just started calling him Pootie Butt, and so they all have like 16 different nicknames, and they all respond to
Nice.
all of them. But yeah, so Roo was scarfing down this. I think he was going to choke on it. He was just trying to swallow the whole thing without chewing because he saw me coming in. He was like, it's like over in the corner, and you can see his eyes. He knows he's in trouble,
Yeah.
They're-
Well, I might as well be hung for a sheep
So,
than a lamb. so I'm
yeah,
just
and the
gonna
crappy
eat
thing
it.
is I had bought them 2 big things of treats.
Oh.
And I'm like,
You don't
I'm like
get one of
sound like a
those.
parent.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's like-
you're
he's
not
like,
getting
"Oh, I
any
see
treats
you
tonight.
brought
Those
snacks."
are only for good boys,
These
and
treats
you're
are
not
mine
good.
now.
Yeah.
And when I go to see her dogs, she's like, just feed them this little bitty scoop of like 10 kernels and they're each. And I have 2 dogs, one that's only 45 pounds. She's a tiny little thing. One that's 130. They eat the same amount of food.
They do.
Which is crazy. And I give them like big honking cups twice a day of food and then treats all through. So I'm at her house going, oh, I bought you all these bags of treats because Lisa won't let
She's
me
gonna
feed
make
you.
she's gonna make my beagles fat because beagles have an obesity
I make them
problem.
run. I make them run for it. That's good. Nick, nicknames?
Well, my sister calls me Chris because Crispin is a Latin name for people with curly hair because I used to have curly hair.
I was wondering where that was
and
going.
my family
If
and
you're
my
looking at us,
family
Nick
and
has
my family are the kind of
nothing.
people who give Latin-based nicknames. So with that family, my actual name though weirdly comes from the fact that my parents have no grasp of Russian history, because I was born on the 18th of December, and in England we write 18 and then the month, so 1812. So my parents were like, "Oh, Russia, 1812 overture." Except the Tsar at the time was Alexander II, so I should really be an Alex.
Yes.
But they were like, "I don't know any Tsars. That was
Tsar
the last
Nicholas."
one. Nicholas. There we go.
Well,
The
you could
one
have been
that
named
had-
Rasputin. So
You know what? Rasputin is, lover of the Russian queen. Oh, those Russians.
So, Jess, one more. Do you have any nicknames?
Family nicknames?
Whatever.
No, but nicknames like Jessica Rabbit, which I got like in a bar that my ex gave me. And then that, because it was in a bar and everybody there was drunk, it went from Jessica Rabbit to J Rabbit to just Rabbit because, drunk people and lots of syllables. That's hard.
I've sold rabbits before in the store, but
that's funny. That's where your head went. I went to M&M.
you and Eminem,
B-rabbit.
I go to sex toys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, nice.
I'm familiar with both, and so that makes me happy. Yes,
You're very
I went-
cultured.
Yes,
Very
I
cultured.
yes, I
Very,
try.
yep.
Yeah, I try.
I have a good grasp of all the rabbits.
I thought of John Updike, but that's because I'm weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
I
never
thought
read
of the
any of
commitments.
the rabbit
So,
books. Oh, I love
yes.
the commitments.
I love the commitments.
Really?
So good.
Y'all are
Oh, the
so
book.
sweet.
Yeah, the book is
That's-
great.
Oh, I haven't read that.
Oh no, yeah. Read the books because
Ooh.
the books are far more foul-mouthed and
Oh.
entertaining than the film, and that they make much more sense. And you can read them in an afternoon.
Yes.
So yeah,
Good stuff.
good stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, the last nickname that I did not let continue because my initials at high school were LAS, and the gentleman that I was dating at the time was nicknamed Earth Dog.
Nice.
People decided I should be Lassie.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
Hell
no,
no.
I don't
What a delightful
like,
Kim Cattrall
no,
reference.
I don't.
I was
There we
going to
go.
say, and that goes to Porky's.
Right. I was like, I think
No,
that's,
that's not
a
gonna
good
be a good
idea. And it's
one.
not sweet. No.
No,
No.
no. My sisters
we-
still
we
call me
finished
sis.
Sis?
We sit yes, yes.
Nice.
So we are all in our 20s, or they're in their 20s. I'm in my 30s, and they still call me sis.
No, my sister calls me Delilah instead of Delilah. Or she calls me Lisif instead of Joseph.
Lisa?
I don't, yeah. We listened to a lot of Douglas Adams when we
Okay.
were young.
Yes.
Actually, I still do. Whenever I can read a Douglas Adams book or listen to, some of the old stuff from the radio, that makes me happy. Anyway, all right. Dika, what have you got coming up soon?
Well, I'll be at the adult prom next Thursday.
And you can get the adult prom tickets on Eventbrite.
Yes,
Nick?
I've actually included a link in the live video. Things. If you
Fantastic.
look in the comments, you
Fancy.
can see a link to the Facebook event, which will
Yeah.
take you to the Eventbrite page.
I'm so excited for adult prom. I can't stand it. And there's a cash bar there,
There will be a
and
cash bar.
we've got to bring some food.
Yeah, we can do a
'cause we
potluck.
We haven't been out, or at least I haven't been really partying in a long time. So I think 2 drinks in, I'm gonna be like, I need some food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're gonna have to do that. But I like the potato chip idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know where all of your events are going to be, Miss Karen.
Yes, I
Guide
have a
us.
Facebook page for the book. So you can look at that, The Witch of Del Rey, as well as my Twitter is Karen Dybus. I put all my events out there. And then next year, I've got a book coming out called Strange Detroit. So there's also a web page or a Facebook page for that as well. If I get my act together, there'll be web pages. But
I think you should come and talk to our Rotary group about your Strange Detroit.
oh yeah, I mean, I had a ball. That was the summer project. I dragged the kids out with me most places, and we hit anywhere you can think of in Detroit. I had like a running list, and ended up having to narrow it down to about 90. But it's a crazy town.
This is
Oh,
oh my God, the artists do so many wonderful things
Yeah.
here.
It's
So
always good
many
to find the
things.
strange things in a place. Whenever I'm going to like a new
Yes.
town, I always look up weird or odd or
Yeah.
strange, fill in the blank.
Well, we
It's
just had
great.
that art tour.
We did, yeah.
So
with,
what if we did a
Rotary.
Strange Things
Oh,
tour
I think
when your book comes out?
Or stranger.
That
Stranger
would be a
Detroit
ball.
things? Yeah,
Can we,
there
but
you go.
that's a show.
Well, okay, fine.
Promote her.
Okay, yes, we can do. Yeah, we can do Strange Things Detroit. That would actually be pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of them are historical, so we'll have to get creative and do a few crazy ones.
Cool.
We can reenact. There
There
are
can be
a
some
whole bunch of
reenactments.
actors that we can probably talk
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if we reenacted the Witch of Delray? Okay, we got to go. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our podcast one more time. Lisa, have you got any final comments? Where can we find you again?
You can find me at dornburden.com. I don't have exciting stuff, but I have important stuff. So I, usually just reading documents, marking things up, all that kind of fun
And
thing.
if she likes it.
I do.
You know, you got to find people who like things you don't like and
Absolutely.
become very good friends with them.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. All right. Dika, Karen, thank you. Jessica, Nick, Lisa. Woo! I got everybody out. Thank you.
Beautiful.
All right. We're going to have the Vomit Spots take us out again. I want to tell them thank you. And I'll be coming down to a show to see a live show in Alabama again, down in L.A. Dickie, you should go.
I was gonna say, let me know when you're going. I'll take the
And when I
time
say
off.
L.A., it's Lower Alabama.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down for
just-
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to make it very clear.
just so you understand, it's the
Yeah.
Redneck Riviera.
I'm okay with that. I'm
Cool.
going to New Orleans in February.
Awesome.
so
That's 2 hours from Mobile.
that's okay. I drive. I'm a Detroit girl. I like to drive.
Driving's fun.
Yeah.
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 Drive that moneymaker.
That's right.
All right. Thank you again. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Who do we have next Wednesday, Nick? Do you know?
Currently, we're kind of open. So we have, like I said, it will be arranged. It will be announced.
It will be announced.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful day.
Thank you.